Good evening and welcome everyone. Going to try a new game tonight. It's a bit of a longer one. It's called OpenTTD. It's based on a pretty old game called Transport Tycoon Deluxe, where our job is to be the CEO of a company and get goods from one point to another and get a bit of profit from it, going from 1955 to about 2055 as technology goes through. So I'm going to generate a map, and we've got several different worlds we could try as well. And so here is the universe as we know it. We've got effectively an island, though we can adjust the generation settings and make something that's very huge. It's a lot bigger. On the island, there's, I'll just pause time because we've got several different industries. We've got an iron ore mine. There's also a steel mill. So if I transport ore to the mill, it'll make steel, which I can then transport to a factory that'll transport the steel into goods. And if I go to a city, let's see. If I make it in there, no, I can't quite take goods as such a small city at the moment, but some of the larger ones will be able to take goods. Sorry, I'm getting a warning where it's saying we're not getting enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Let's just going to have a look at that. All right, so you might be getting buffering. I'll keep on and have a look at it afterwards, and if it starts buffering again, I know with the graphics, if I keep moving it around, it'll try and send out a lot of data quick. And yeah, I'm getting the OBS is saying that it's having a hard time doing it, so I might try and just keep things smooth for the moment. Because if the pixels don't change that much from frame to frame, it doesn't have to send out as much data. So there's also oil refineries, coal power stations. I can get paid by moving people around. We've also got farms that can we can transport grain and livestock from, and we can do it via air, land, and the ocean as well. There's several different coal mines and a sawmill as well. So what I think I'll start off with, I should have done this as private. Sorry, I'm just thinking about whether I'm going to wrap this up and switch to something else or stick with it. Just give me a moment. I'm going to go through the settings. All right, I'm going to stick with it and have a look at it later. So let's unpause time. The first thing I'm going to do is to create a actually, let's see if I can create one mega railway station in between by trying to hack it and make the platform extremely long. So I can, as part of this world, change some of the land, what it looks like. Let's try that. Well, make it just as long on this side as well. And hopefully it's very simple. And I'll make it a small section of double tracked. Played this game a bit before, so I'm going to go through some of the tricks to try and make things run smoothly, even though it doesn't look like it if you've watched me playing. Someone very experienced would have been. So I'm sending in traffic signals that force trains to go one way along here, and I'll send one through the other way to force them to go the other way on the other one. And let's get down to build a new train. And I've got to make sure I put wood trucks on it, because if I put steel trucks on it, it's not going to load anything up with them. Then once I build the train, I've got to give it instructions of where to go. So I'll tell it to go to this and to wait until it's got a full load. Then it's got to go to the other station and I can drop them off. So what should go through from the first way? While that's happening, I can check the cargo payment graphs. So the number of days in transit for the number of, and there's a payment for delivering 10 units or 10,000 litres of cargo at a distance of 20 squares. And the longer we take, the less money we actually get. Valuables don't exist in the universe at the moment. They don't come around until maybe 1970. But if you have a look here, the next highest is coal, and shipping coal around is one of the first things most seasoned players will go through and look for. I'll speed up time a bit. There we go, we've got it up to 100%. And it'll flip around, take the left turn. It's already got 80 tons, 111 tons lined up. So the first trains, it's starting unloading, and then we'll get payday. 8,000. I'm going to get it to go into the depot, and I'll get a few more wood trucks. So we get a notification down the bottom that there's a train. Get one last one. That'll give us 5 files worth. And the physics with the game change as well. So if I get a full train to go up a hill, it'll start slowing down. Whereas if I get them to come down, it'll speed up or have a high speed. If I get the trains to go around a lot of corners, they'll slow down, particularly if they were going on a straight section and had a lot of speed built up. And depending on what train we've got, so the Kirby Paul can go at most 64 k's an hour, but the Cheney Jubilee, which I've got, can go 112. There are 2 others, the Ginzu that can go 128, and SH8P, it can go 144. And being 1955, we're still in the steam age. So later diesels will come along and then there'll be electrics as well. Now, depending on how much wood turns up, it might be worthwhile getting a second train. So it's being loaded with the wood at the same time this one's being unloaded, and I'll just swap between the two of them. So I've got the stream status back up to excellent at the moment. So it looks like it'll go through as long as I don't try and mess things around and jink the screen too much like this. So if I keep it smooth, it should be good. So the train capacity can hold 7, I think it is 7 carriages at 30, 210. So it's only got to wait a little bit before I go through. I can also change the traffic order so that as soon as it turns up, it'll load up and then it'll go whether it's full or not. But I'll stick with the keep at full trains. So there's a few other game mechanics in play as well. If I now we've got, before one was producing 80 and another one's producing 128. So if I keep taking stuff from them, they'll produce more. It's a bit counterintuitive to real world economics, but it's good for a game and moving things around, and hope it's helpful for people learning here as well. I can introduce enough things, and hopefully it's if people are after listening practice as well and trying to pick up an accent or try and listen to different people. Anyway, so one other thing I might try is to get some coal going around the back through the farmland into a power station. Oh, sorry, I was at economics. So real world economics don't matter here. There might be 2 power stations. I could get all of the coal on the map and start shipping it to this one here, and it's not going to matter. Doesn't matter whether I go to one or the other. If I've got a particular efficient train line set up, I could send it further because I get more money if I transport goods a longer distance at higher speed. And I'll worry a bit about that later. But now let's have a look at, so that train's back up loading again. Let's have a look at the financial health of the company. To start the company, I got a $300,000 loan, and I still have $175,000 in the bank. I could go off and make another train line or similar. The train's given me $44,000 of income, and importantly, it's got a running cost of only about 4. So let's ignore the sunk costs at the moment. Then it's making about, let's call it maybe $60,000 a year profit. So we're doing quite well. We've paid some one-off costs for building the railway as well as buying the train. It will be paid back in a few years, so pretty happy with that. Sorry, I've just turned the volume up on the game audio. So I didn't realize you'd been missing the music and just listening to me. I think it's much better with the music. Wow, this... I'm going to look to build a mammoth railway station for the moment, so let's get a big one. Let's make it 2 tracks, 7 long, and there we go. So how am I going to get this going for the moment? I'm going to sneak it through here, and rather than go up and down, I'm going to just eat the costs of so I pretty much know this is going to be a sure bet. Just going to worry about one at the moment. Sorry, I brushed over that. I can make several different bridges. I can make a wooden bridge that's very cheap, and it'll only have trains that go over at 32 kilometers an hour. They'll have to slow right down. Concrete one gets them 48, girder 64, and a girder steel lets them rip over at 257. Trains can go faster than they can physically travel at this world at the moment. So I'm going to go up. Let's see where the... Yep, I've just run out of money. Alright, so I'm going to borrow more. I can get a maximum loan up to 1.2 million. But I think I should just... I'm just going to build a short bridge, even though I've got to send a train and get it to do a hard turn. That's alright. We'll get the train running, get some revenue in, and then I can optimize. And right, that'll give it a bit of rundown. So there we go, one connected railway track. I'm just going to build things pretty simple for the moment. A message from a vehicle manufacturer. They've designed a new railway locomotive and would I be interested in its exclusive use and see how it performs before making it universally available. I don't. This is a diesel, even though it's diesel and they're all coming at 100 speed of 112, but it's also aimed at passengers. So I'm going to stick with steam for now. And seeing as I've gone to the bank for one of the biggest loans, I'm going to buy the biggest and best of pretty much everything. Okay, so I've got one that should be 7 long, so it should fill the full length of the track. Go to here for the full load. And then it's only got one other stop. Go there. Now I've got a slight problem of, well, once the train leaves the tracks, I can only put one on there, which is okay. I'm going to aim to double track everything eventually, but I'll make some segments that are so we'll need another bridge. And if I really wanted to scrimp, I could probably make a wooden bridge on the way back. It doesn't have to travel fast on the way back. No one cares too much about that. So let's get the trains lights off running again. So that's pretty much... Oh, didn't see that earlier. keep that as single track, and any trains will wait here from full load. And the good news is I can, rather than generate trains manually, I can clone them and they get the same orders automatically. I've still got a bit of coin in the bank I can play with. The signals here between the semaphores and the lights actually have no difference on the game, but the other ones do. And depending on what happens, I can get them to go through, and them will come in handy later. So I can have a signal here. I can put a signal on each of the entryways here and have another signal here, which means that it'll check both of those. And if at least one of those is green, it lets the train through, and then the train gets to go through whatever section is green. I'll force them both to use the one bridge for now. And I'm just going to nurse the company until we get a big payday. Because I've invested all the money, it's useful to make sure the train runs smoothly first on its initial trip before putting in other ones, because I might have, instead of just 2 trains, 3 or 4. Like, it's already starting to pile up extra coal, but the production has gone down a little bit since last time. Let's see what the other mines are doing. And I can put a station here, and have them join up and dynamically, where they'll run this as a main line and the trains will go through and they'll sort themselves out. I can manually intervene, and in some cases tell trains that even though there's a red signal in front of you, go through with it. We don't care, but I run the risk of trains crashing. And I just forgot one thing I did earlier, so I'm going to line it up now. I'm going to put in a depot to force them to go through and do maintenance. Having a bigger world and having trains go from one side to the other, they normally have a maintenance cycle, and I'm extending it out by having them do such long trips. So I'm going to force a train to do maintenance. And if we look at the mechanic here, this reliability's gone down to 65%. So if I build a new vehicle, every vehicle's got reliability factor. So that's a fairly old train that is about to be retired or become obsolete. One of the ones in their prime has a max reliability of 90%, 93%, and I think the newer ones don't go as high. Yeah, they get higher as they become more mature. And because this one's been sitting in the train station for a long period of time, let's see how much money we'll get through. I'm thinking maybe 150,000, 125,000 for just the one trip. Now, all right, so it's gone through. I can give this one the green light because I've told that train specifically to hold up. It should be able to fill up almost immediately. And for those people watching, I am looking over at the chat. If you've got any questions, jump in. I'll see what I can do to answer them. or if there's something else think I can help out with, let me know. I'm largely doing this to fill in the time, and I think the train coming back is going to win the race of whether it'll get to this segment first and block the other train. It's yeah, only 91%. That's right. By the time it gets all the way through, it'll be largely, that one will be full. It'll be on its way. And it's almost like perfect timing. While that's happening, I'm not going to have any major expenses for the foreseeable future. I've got 250,000 in the bank. I'll pay down some debt. We've paid 10,000 so far this year in interest. So a little bit. It's good to have it all paid off. And one of the metrics that you measured on the company league table of starting off as an engineer, you get detailed performance rankings, and to have the most, you get 1,000 points. So to earn 100 of those 1,000 points, I should have 120 vehicles earning income in the profit in the last year. And having such long runs actually penalizes me a little bit here. And stations that are visited as well. 80 stations. Have some trains with minimum profit, have train and minimum income as well as maximum, and have so much cargo delivered, and have 8 different cargo types as well. So I can't just be a one-trick pony and deliver coal. Getting passengers and mail will count as separate ones. Having my loan paid off will get me 50 points, and then I can also get another 50 by having a lot of money in the bank. The train here slows down to 88 k's an hour. It's not that bad. I'm picking back up to 90. And if it goes over the bridge, it'll... No, it's still actually picking up speed. Oh well. There we go again. Another 130,000. I can't do anything to farm, so I've certainly got to go around it. So I could flatten that section and then rejoin it, getting rid of the bridge. But maybe I'm just overthinking it too much at the moment. It's almost all double tracked. I've got the middle very set up, so as long as I've just got 2 trains and they're effectively going A and B, it'll be right. So let's go back and have a look at the other train. $100,000 profit this year, 70,000 profit last year. Not too shabby at all. $20,000 each run. And so theoretically, I said with the economics earlier, I could take the coal from this side of the map, efficiently transport it down to a power station on this side of the map, or coal from this side of the map, efficiently transport it to this, and make a lot more money than just putting them right next door. Not too sure what to do next. I think I might save the game and finish up. You can play this game with people, and they can open up competing businesses and transport passengers. They can do some other things, like if I had a passenger business here, I can go to the local authority. If I had a bit more money in the account, I can buy the exclusive transport rights, which should stop everyone else from getting passengers through. Infrastructure. Okay, yep. So I can start repaying a bit more of the loans. I still want to have a little bit of working capital and make sure I can pay the wages and everything else like that. But what I think I should really do is about building an airport. Should be able to build a large airport, city size one, and give it a bit of room to grow. Didn't realize it would cost that much though. And I'm sorry, Mr. Whoever owns this house here. Go borrow some more money from the bank. Whoops, I didn't mean to blow all that stuff up. I've got to level a bit more proper land yet. But locking away this land should put me in good stead for later in the game. And that way when I can ship passengers from one site to another real fast and go through, I'll get a passenger service connecting at the moment, so I can so like with the steam trains, we've got I think piston. I don't think it'll be a turboprop. Anyway, for the amount of passengers and difference, I think I'll just get one of the newer aircraft and just tell it to go from one location to the other without waiting for a full aircraft at the moment. So if it doesn't have, I'll just keep flying from one to the other. I don't expect it to make too much profit at the moment, just to sort of pay the rent at the moment. And the cities grow as well. So if I start moving passengers to and from, and something else I could do is to I'll do it. I'll get a bus station. And yeah, it looks good. I've got to build a depot as well. And I'll get some buses to run people from one side of the city to the other. We'll get it to go and then clone them, make about 5, I think. And these are going to break down a bit more than trains as well. But that's all right. It's not like there's any major problems if they break down. even the aircraft, if the aircraft in game break down, all they end up doing is going a bit slower than usual. There are crash mechanics in there where you can lose an aircraft, but that happens on landing, I think, rather than it, and which happens rare. One of the things you could do with other people playing was get a train line to go across a road, and if a train and a bus or vehicle were on the road at the same time, the train would just barrel straight through it. So you could do it to deliberately So we've got here the town growing every 72 days, which is good in the long term, even though the buses at the moment are scavenging people. So any person in this area just wants to go somewhere else. It doesn't matter to them whether they go to the other side of the city or whether they go for a plane trip. Also, there's no connecting, I don't have to get people to their destination. People are just happy to travel, if that makes sense. I'll see if I can low risk sort of. I hope that's an okay spot for it. I'm not too sure with all those roads there and all of the bigger buildings. I guess if I really wanted to build close to a city, I could slap it straight in the middle. Where's the... There we go. I'll get this one to go all 3 airports, and it'll just go into an order from 1, 2, 3, and then I'll build a new aircraft to just go between the other 2. So there we go. With 236 passengers backed up, should be able to get it to get them somewhere soon. Because if I don't take them somewhere, then they end up eventually losing interest and I won't be able to do it. And then I also lose respect of the local city. So while I've got a good reputation there, if I started demolishing trees, blah. So the game will let me knock down buildings. But it does affect my rating. And I can upgrade it by doing advertising campaigns. And there's even options of bribing the local authorities so that it might give me a good ratings boost. But I think there's a penalty if you get caught. You might be appalling for 12 months or something along those lines. We just had the trains pass each other, so I think it might be reducing a bit more, or so we get the ratings of very good. And I'm not sure exactly of the mechanics of this one, but if we don't have a train here waiting to take stuff away, we lose percentages of whatever is transportable. And this is judged on per unit. So if there was a coal mine on one side and a farm on another, and if I kept taking all of the livestock and grain, that'd be fine. But if I some coal and then didn't send a train back here in a while, eventually my reputation would drop right off, and it's picked back up again to 75%. So that means more. And I'm pretty sure, I might have mentioned it earlier, but the more I take from an area, the more odds that it will go. So if you've got your normal coal mine, once you dig up all the coal, it's gone. Yeah, the game mechanics in here, if I start taking more away, then there's more able to be taken away later. It's a bit weird, but it works for the game. It makes it fun to do all the planning and see. And the other way I see this is that if you ever wanted a train set, then this is a very cheap way to have a very large train set, because you can make it things as large and intricate as you want. So I think I'll try paying off a bit more debt. So, wow, didn't expect it to be that big. 624,000 of train income. So I did buy about 400,000 of new vehicles. I just realized I've still got the game description in the stream still set to chess. Sorry about that. I was originally going to do a stream with chess puzzles. It's one of the planes going past. There should be a town directory. Don't give me name, give me just population. So Menway is the largest city. Yeah, so they think I'm a bit mediocre. What have I done for them lately? The other town's very happy with me. Well, if I want an area with a large catchment, yeah, I'll do it. They're going to get upset with me, though. The 4th airport's about to open. So I've got to borrow some more cash. Let's see what the town think of me. Yeah, I'm poor. There's one way to get some respect back. I'll start planting some trees in the area I've just demolished. And I'm back to good. Get a new aircraft and just get it to go between 2 different spots. Yeah, the Menway's got as many people as I can take to it. I think I might need another aircraft. Oh well, so much for the plan of paying off debt quickly. But if I've got a plane that can take 90 people and we've got 90 people ready to go as soon as it goes out. Mail I don't care about that much. There's always going to be a lot more mail that I can take away unless I want to set up a dedicated mail run. But if I can get the airport ticking over, could make quite a bit of a loss with this. With the aircraft, knowing that the trains will keep me busy. So if we look at the operating profit graph, doing quite well. They've also designed a new aircraft that, again, asking if I'm interested in a 1-year exclusive deal for a helicopter for 40 passengers and 15 bags of mail. I'll just leave it for the moment. But if I did want to build a airport, I could build just helicopter only airports, and they're not available at the moment because we're still in the 1950s where helicopters, they should have been around, but certainly I guess not commercial and traveling everywhere. You can get 1-by-1 helipads and put them in the middle of cities. A heli depot, I think, has 2 pads and a service area, I think, and a heli station, I think, has 6 pads. So it's almost the same as a small airport, and that'll become available later. So I've got 173 passengers, so some just come in 20,000 a trip. I think might as well clone the aircraft and get another one going. It'll be able to straight away pick up a full load of passengers and go across the other side of the map. This should be a nice little money spinner. And the other stations already got extra passengers as well, so I could probably start loading this trips between those 2 airports right up. The other one, that's still going to be a bit distorted by the town's still growing, so I'm calling it a win. And this one, no, sorry, this is the last one. Yeah, they're not happy with me at all. So earlier I said aircraft don't break down. This is the effect of a breakdown on it. It just slows it down and I lose money for revenue on it. I'm not too sure what to do next though. Go back to the detailed performance ratings. Could you get another cargo? Not sure about paying off some debt. I think I'll just have a look around. If there's anyone in the chat that's got any suggestions of what they want me to do, I'll look into it. Actually, I think trucks of iron ore to steel. Whoops, I don't want to bus. It's a bit sort of weird that each truck can only carry a specific item, but if it's a dump truck, it's a dump truck. Probably helps the game make sure it transports the correct cargo. And I'll clone them a bit more. Get about a total of 5 trucks go between. Sorry, it's a bit cluttered here. I'll get rid of some of the screens. And I'll see about building a road across for delivery of the steel. So they've just designed a new aircraft. Would I be interested in its exclusive vehicle? So that's going to happen a lot, and I'm going to get asked for it. 200 passengers and 30 bags of mail. Absolutely. I think that currently I can take 90 passengers. So I'm just going to change some of the transparency options, and there we go. Just got to double check that the roads all linked up. And I'll put in another depot as well. So I don't have any steel waiting here because I haven't picked any up. It's only once I collect some that it triggers it. Get it to go to this one. I think, yeah, they're considered the same. But the two depots are... So that one's Drunfingberg Mines and that one's the Woods. I wasn't sure whether this road depot would be the same as a separate one. I'm going to send it back. So now it's got steel, and I don't know, yeah, I think it might need more ore to come through before it'll produce it. Yeah, I did realize it was 72 tons of ore, but it's only a small amount. And that should help out with the sort of scheduling. If in some cases I think there's a bug where they can get gridlocked, and that can just effectively shut down the whole production line. But we're unloading our first steel now. And let's get rid of all of them and just bring in steel and ore. So we've got a higher. Going further down the value chain gives us more dollars for the same goods transported, if that makes sense. See how things are going on the other side of things. They're still rolling through. 370,000 profit is awesome. It's paid for itself in the first year, I think. So, and we're now debt free. So happy camping with that. So that straight makes goods from the sawmill. Yeah, that'll definitely be big enough to take goods. I'm not sure I'll could run trucks across. So I'm not too sure what else really to do at the moment. Might have to look at oil or something like that. Okay, I think I'll wrap it up for the evening. If you've got any questions, comments, feedback, please let me know. I'll have a look at and see about getting subtitles in for this. See about the auto-generated ones as well. But if you have any questions or if it's something you want to see more of, let me know. I'm happy to fill in time playing this, or if people have got suggestions or bits that they want me to play, I'm happy to take anything. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good night.